simply Greek words for purified knowledge of the infinite, or knowledge of the source. So, kathari meaning purified, and gnosis meaning knowledge of God or knowledge of the universe, of the infinite. So, when you go through that process, you're seeking to purify your understanding. You're seeking to purify your enlightenment, and it's an ongoing process, because every now and then you're going to get some new information you didn't have before, and you're going to look at that and say, you know what? That means I might have to make some minor revisions to the view I've had because of this new information. So you've got to stay open, and if you close it off, then you're no longer doing the open walk. Then you're doing the closed walk, and that I have definitions for both of those: the open walk and the closed walk. And you want to get away from the closed walk, and you want to go with that open walk. That's the best way.
As an individual, we're all closed with our information in our closed mind. We're protected right now, but it's sort of like people don't understand Creative Commons license and those that are copyrighted by law in the United States. It's like with inventors. They know if they're in the United States, they're owned by the United States. They can't invent outside or for another country. And Project Gutenberg is open, but they put open, such as the book on Charles Darwin. It's free on the Gutenberg.org, updated information, but you have to abide by those rules and the Gutenberg. But to protect the mission, promoting free distribution of electronic works so people can see it on the Internet, they use a distribution. And I even see it on my WordPress that they offer the Gutenberg project. You agree to comply with all the terms of the full project, and then that is a licensed trademark. So we have to start being more intelligent about how we work in cyberspace and what we think is free, but it's only free to those that agree to the terms of service. And all this is changing constantly. And I'm learning a lot by educating myself in how we use words and how we use the Internet. And people don't really read their terms of service, but you may not really own your electronic works like you think you do. If you're putting them on, they're probably public domain, meaning you don't have a copyright. So you need to you need to be smart about what you're doing out there all over the world, especially in the United States, if they're distributing for you in open works and the open walk and the open work, but open mind, but staying open to receive and to learn, but be intelligent too. It's just like your house. And I help people with websites, and I help people with writing, and I've had plenty of websites, but really no authors, because people aren't willing to share their articles open source like you think they would. And so I've had homes I've paid for years. That's why I shut down so many magazines, is the people didn't want to do the work. You know, they don't want to write their books. They don't want to write their articles. And yet I believe people should read, and I come from a family like that. And then once you put it out there, there's the limited writer replacement, or the open walk is like Creative Commons. But now Bill at least made a book, an electronic book, or a hard copy, and that copyright's probably under Amazon, but you didn't pay to put it through the Library of Congress, did you? You went through Creative. Amazon published it like most independents, so they own the copyright.
And and they got the what is it called? I can't remember it.
The ISBN number through them that's used in the actually the libraries. But really, now if they own it for printing and publishing, they're the printer and publisher. Like I have an independent printer, and Lulu. I use Lulu and Amazon, but they've gone to Kindle publishing now. So there's besides stepping CreateSpace. And if you bought it, then they own the ISBN number, or you can pay $99 and own your own, because they buy a bunch of them together and they'll just sell it to you, and then you own your own copyright on your own book. But it's amazing how much stuff we don't know anymore. But printing has changed in public domain in the U.S. copyright notices and all of that are necessarily or required in order to put up an e-book and to have a paper edition. And I like the paper edition because we're crossing over into a time when we used to be able to hold something and read it. And now the Kindles and all those electronic things. I saw today at a thrift store, 4 or 5, there's about 5 of those, what do they call them? You read books, but the people that were selling them, at this nice, really nice store called Waterfront, they said they were like $15. And I said, well, why are they so cheap? They said, because they just it was for reading a book, but they can't even get on the internet. They're just books. Have you seen those? My mother had one, but you had to buy the books online to put them into the reader. You know what I'm talking about?
Well,
they're a little screen.
Yeah, it's like a Kindle Fire kind of thing.
Yeah, they're exactly what they were, Kindle Fires.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yes, I have one of those.
So what do you do with it? You can't get online to read a book, or you can, or you have to buy the book and then put it in the tablet?
Yeah. Yeah, if you're a member of I forget what it's called, the Kindle Prime, I think, then you can get quite a large number of books for free of charge. You pay I think an annual fee to be able to be a member of that, and then there's a whole lot of these books available to you that you can download and read on your device, your pad,
well,
whatever you want to call it.
They said you couldn't get online, so I guess how do you download it from that to your Kindle Fire? Isn't that amazing? So these are things they acted like they were going out of style.
Yeah.
Because they had gotten so many in.
It's been around a while. I got mine a long time ago, and I was able to go to the internet with it at that time. I don't know if things have changed.
Do you use it?
I
mean you could get it, but you had to.
I really haven't.
So you haven't used yours either.
Yeah.
So they were a thing for a while to read books on, or e-books, and now people, can they read them on their phone now? Can they read your book on their phone?
I believe they can.
Well, I've got books out there through Google, just free books. I gave them to Google a long time ago, folks. Let me see if I can find one. Ascension, what was it? Ascension Guide. Let me see. They got some of mine that are just, if you go to Google, what is it where you can do, let me try Google Books. But, folks, the Open Walk, at one time they asked me to put a lot of my books online free, and I did. And now occasionally I'll be looking up a word, and I've already written it, and then I'm the author. It amazes me. Google Books free downloads, so free Google Books. So, the Open Walk will even tell you where you can find free Google Books. Your book, digital books, my books are available. Just put in books by Theresa J Morris if you're interested in metaphysics or cosmology or anything. Google Books digitized. They took a bunch of mine back in the day, way back 2009. So it's been about 10 years ago, and put them in Google. And they did it during that project where they were putting hard copy or electronic books online. So there's a bunch of my books out there you can just get free. Now, I have new books, but I'm like Bill. I put them into Amazon because in order to be in our club, you pretty much have to write a book, because I started my club in myths and legends and going to events with folklorists and out of Smithsonian to help people learn about each other and to meet in groups at the county fair. And we had Ace Folk Life. And this was based on collecting stories of people. So when you collect information, it was interesting to see how people lived and how they had their own story and their own reality. And now here Bill is forming his own theology and Open Walk. And we have the ACO Association Authors Book Club. And the ACO Club is about you writing your own book. You are the author of your own life story. Now, Bill, if they wanted to write their story like you did, The Opened Walk by Bill M. Tracer. Now, you wrote your just wrote everything down in Word, didn't you? Let's just give them a real quick way. You wrote it in Word, and then you did a beta test, didn't you? You let friends read your book, 5 people,
Absolutely.
a group, and look for problems or typos or whatever, and then you resubmitted it for final publishing, and then ordered copies, right? So, but it's not yours is really not expensive. You put and it wasn't really about the money, it was about getting the word out, but it's very inexpensive. But they can get The Open Walk by Bill M. Tracer on Amazon, right? Barnes & Noble.
You just go to Amazon.
And how much?
Actually, you can go at Barnes & Noble. Go there and do an author search on my name, Bill M. Tracer. Especially if you do that at Amazon, it will show you all the different things I've published. $14.99.
Okay, I'm gonna look it up.
For The Open Walk. Some other books are a little less expensive because they're smaller.
Oh my goodness, you did good work. The Open Walk: Will the Internet Achieve Sentience? Tripping on Woodstock, and then with me, Theresa of Ascension. For those of you that would like to see a blended, that's interesting. That's up there. To Mars to Stay, to Mars to Die. And this is a nice picture. I see you've got a new one up there for Google Contacts. Freelance artist and writer at Home Office Studio, attended Arkansas State, lives in Cordova, Tennessee. And Bill M. Tracer came right up. It says for Google Contacts only you can see this result. But I like that nice beard. So when did you update this picture? I need it. Let me see if it'll let me get it. When did you get this picture?
Well, that was a couple of years ago, I think. But I don't look much different than that. I look about the same.
That was a couple of years ago.
Yeah,
says set contact photo. Save as. Let me see if it'll let me save. Google Contacts. No, I want Bill M. Tracer. I'm going to see if it'll let me. Bill, sometimes it used to be a lot easier for people like me to save things as a publisher and a developer, but they've gotten really funny. Some things you can copy and some things you can't. Let me see if Bill M. Tracer, I'm giving the one with the beard, right? Yeah. And hopefully it's going to let me save it. But it's in Google Contacts. Now, folks, we are building a club of authors, and ACO Club, I'm going to put it says ACO Club. Everybody that's a friend of mine, like I said, is pretty much an author. We're the author of our own life story. And if you'd like to come and share your life, please let us know. If you'd like to, I have people that ask me things all the time. And we're doing American Communication Online, but we have ACO Association, and different groups are getting together. And here's one that says, hello, Theresa Morris. We're beginning to launch content via your articles, your YouTube videos, and revolutionary events. Our entire event schedule for 2019 has been set and each event created. I'm excited for the new year. Spirituality, PTA mini documentary. Well, that's only 2. Surely that's more than that. But mine is going to be, I'm going to speak at January 12th. But if you'd like to join us, it says you can follow YouTube and be along in our membership dashboard. But actually, Bill found where we're posting everything at AMO, and then American Communications Online. And I bought that company, American Communications Online, to be able to pay, the bills, really, for all this. And I've put this show is going straight on YouTube through Spreaker, so you may see Spreaker with Bill's face or my face. And I have to change up every show. So, Bill, every week we got to have a different topic. This one I put Open Mind, but I still wanted to put The Open Walk because Bill and Tracy in my name. But we may have to go back and do that next book, the Ascension book or something. But every week it needs to look different on YouTube. So you may want to start getting some nice graphics up, Bill. We need one a week and a specialty because we're getting fancy here, folks, and we know that we'd like to have you guys